Hello and welcome to Public Conscience, the anti-corruption program produced by the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development, PRIMOG. I am Adaobi Obiabumo with my colleague Esther Bassi.
Thanks for joining us.
On Public Conscience, we seek to evolve a corruption-free society by drawing government and citizens' attention to corruption reports and issues for prompt democratic actions against them. We also promote integrity by amplifying rare cases of the display of honesty by public and private individuals. We appreciate the MacArthur Foundation for supporting the production of this program.
In today's program, we will be assessing the efficiency of constituency projects in the development of Nigeria, the challenges rocking the initiative, and efforts by the government to ensure there is value for the huge amounts of funds spent year in, year out.
Zonal Intervention Project, popularly called the Constituency Project, was first established in Nigeria in 1999 by the administration of former President Olusegun Obasanjo to promote equitable grassroots infrastructure development in Nigeria. Unfortunately, investigations conducted in some parts of Lagos where constituency project funds were released does not inspire hope from the initiative. According to an investigative report by the Udeme Project, published by the cable newspaper, despite the release of funds, multi-million naira classroom projects in Ebutemeta, Ajah, Etiosa, and Victoria Island, all in Lagos State, are missing.
Back in 2019, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Related Offences Commission, ICPC, set up constituency tracking team focusing on how well funds allocated to critical sectors are utilized. ICPC joins us to throw more light on their efforts to ensure constituency projects are better executed across the country. Also, a representative of Budget, one of the civil society organizations tracking constituency projects, will join us with his experience and perspective on overcoming corruption that tends to undermine objectives of constituency projects in Nigeria.
For you out there, are you aware of the constituency projects nominated in your constituency? What is your assessment of the execution of the constituency project in your community?
Be ready to join us through phone and text messages during this conversation. The WhatsApp phone line to send your message is 0902 265 6167. That is 0902 265 6167. Please indicate your name and your location when sending your message. This number is for messages only.
Please begin to send your messages as soon as possible to 0902 265 6167. That is 0902 265 6167. We will give out the numbers to call shortly.
And if you just joined us, we are assessing the efficiency of constituency projects in Nigeria, the impact of corruption, and what the government must do to ensure there is value for huge amounts of funds spent on constituency projects.
Joining us in the studio to have this conversation is ICPC's Assistant Commissioner, Constituency and Executive Project Tracking, Jimo Suleiman, and the FCT Officer at Budget, Garba Abdullahi. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
While an investigative journalist with the cable, Abdul Samiu Monsuro, who will join us via the phone from Lagos with details of how multi-million naira classroom constituency projects are missing in some parts of Lagos State. Welcome to the program, Abdul Samiu. Thank you so much for joining us. And according to your report, millions of naira released for classroom projects in parts of Lagos State are missing. Could you give us a background of your investigation and where exactly did this happen?
Okay, so it happened in Lagos Central Senatorial District in 2022 when the wife of the president was still the senator, representing Lagos State Central Senatorial District. So, as an Udeme monitor, one of my jobs is to, track projects around Lagos for accountability purpose. So I stumbled across, the project in a document, and I decided I was going to visit all the schools because 220 million naira was, allocated for the, construction of blocks of classroom in 5 schools in Lagos State Central, Senatorial District. So I decided I was going to visit all of these schools to confirm that they really received, this construction project. It was part of the 2022 Zona Intervention project. So I visited all the schools and I realized that just one of the schools have received the project. I found that some of the schools did not even need the project, and I found that some of the schools do not even have space to accommodate that kind of project. So that was the background of the investigation. I decided to give for that, speak to people in the community, speak to people in the school, and
So the school did not have the capacity to accommodate the project, yet projects were nominated to be cited in the schools.
Yes, some of the schools. I found that one of the schools, Ansarudin in Aboyade Coast, Victoria Island. The school is located in a place where there are other. How Lagos construct some schools, and it's not a singular school, like there are different schools in the same compound. So in that same compound where Ansarudin, primary school was, there is no space, blocks of classrooms. I went around Ansarudin and I was literally seeing the same. So even if they want to construct that sort of project in the school, unless they want to construct it elsewhere, which would be wrong to leave that address for it and then construct the project elsewhere. So I went to the school and there was no space to construct that kind of project. And also in St. Paul's primary school, Ebutemeta, yes, I found that they have multiple classrooms that were empty, like that were not in use. So they were clearly not in need of classroom projects. What they needed was in all. Their hall was dilapidated, and they noted the deputy headmistress, when she was speaking to me, noted that when people from Universal Basic Education, which is the ministry in charge of the project, came to them, she and the headmistress took them to the dilapidated hall and explained to them that this is the central need of the school. If they could construct the hall in such a way that it is collapsible into a classroom, that they can demarcate it in a classroom, and also serve the purpose as a general hall, then that is what they need.
Okay, so did you also confirm if there was a need assessment done before the project was nominated?
I was coming to that. I asked them, no need assessment, was done, which is one of the reasons why we have the problem we have with the intervention projects in the country. The government is trying to provide, solutions to problems sometimes that are not existing, or problems that are not the exact, immediate need of the people in question. So if a need assessment had actually been conducted, they will have realized that some of these things do not have space to bond, They needed other things, not classroom projects, like gas field in the Butemeta. So no need assessment was conducted. Nobody spoke to them before they just, came to them and said, okay, we have to construct situation in your school. So need assessment is one of the things we need to pay close attention to, in the country regarding the intervention projects. So no need assessment was conducted in this.
Okay, can you also confirm if the funds were released for the execution of the project?
Yes, we have documents from the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation that states that funds for 2022 Zona Intervention projects have been released. And this project in particular, the project in question, is part of the 2022 Zona Intervention project. So it means that it is not possible, for them to have constructed the project in one school if they are not received funds for the project. Do you understand? So we found that Lancaster Primary School has received the project. They are constructed, the classroom there. The fund has been released. You can confirm that fund has been released for the project.
Okay, did you also speak with the beneficiaries or supposed beneficiaries of this project that, in quotes, are not enjoying it because the projects have not been cited, and that they are given projects that they are not in need of?
Yes, I did speak with them. So when I visited Oshulake Kadara, which was where an Apostle Primary School was supposed to be, I found that Apostolic Primary School rather, had been, demolished for more than 10 years now because the area is waterlogged, they had to move the students to a different school, Army Salvation, in a different, in a different street, which is a little far away from that place. So you realize that no new assessment was conducted to the extent that they couldn't even figure out that one of the schools we are listing here has been demolished. If they are going to build a school, they need a total school reconstruction, not 3 blocks of classrooms. I don't know if you understand me.
Definitely.
So I spoke with the chairman of the community development council in the area. I spoke with some of the people that live in the area who some of their children are not able to attend schools now because the area is filled with a lot of indigent musicians, and now the place is occupied by a carpentry workshop and a mechanic workshop.
Okay.
So there's even a struggle over the land. I learned from speaking to them that the case is in court. Like the people that are occupying the land and do not want to vacate the place for them to construct, a school.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdul Masil. But before we round up, did you speak with the authorities after you did this investigation?
Yes. I spoke with the special assistant to the wife of the president. I spoke with her. I tried to ask if the then senator is even aware that this is happening. She promised to get back continuously. I think the solar system. Yes.
All right. Yes. Have you gotten any feedback since then?
No. I kept sending reminders, asking. I needed to confirm before, going to the public if the senator was even aware that, the project she participated had not been constructed. She promised to get back. I sent reminders, and up until the point when we published the project, she didn't get back to me.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdul Samiu Mansurov, who joined us from Lagos. Thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay, you are still on to Public Conscience and Production of PRIMOC, the Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development. And today we are taking X-ray into constituency projects, that is the zonal intervention project in your communities. How aware and knowledgeable are you? I still have in the studio Jimo Suleiman, who is the Assistant Commissioner at ICPC, Constituency and Executive Project Tracking. Thank you once again for being here. And
thank you very much for hosting us.
And also the FCT State Officer at Budget, Garba Abdullahi. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Before I get to the ICPC, let me quickly get the perspective of Garba. How would you react to this report? I know you have also done a whole lot in terms of project tracking, that is tracking of constituency projects. Let's get your perspective.
Well, thank you so much for having me here once again. My name is Garba from Budget, State Officer for FCT here. In this regard, in my own opinion, I think the leadership may have a good distinct for the people, but because of the processes, that is why it is like that. Although we most times think and how we get feedback from the citizens on the one-sided, but on this aspect, I believe everything was balanced, and it now shows the fact that the people were in need of that school, and the leaderships were not ready to provide the school for them. So what we want to do now, or what the public should know, is also to demand for the leader for it to be actually be implemented for them. So I think that is what I'm saying, in the sense that we should keep asking and let it be done for the people.
Thank you, citizens. You have heard, you need to be aware. But let's speak to the commission, who in the last 4 years have been into project tracking. What has the experience been, Jimmy?
The experience has been awesome. It's a mixed bag. Could remember when we started in 2019. The main aim was to curb corruption with regard to project implementation in Nigeria, to engender good governance, transparency and accountability, and to focus on how government money are allocated to critical sectors and how they are utilized. It is based on this that the ICPC set up the constituency project tracking group with the objective rather of improving service delivery to the people, to ensure full execution of all government projects, to guarantee value for money in the implementation of projects, and to make recoveries of public funds that had hitherto maybe been mismanaged. It was based on this that we set out in 2019, and with our experience, the first phase we did, it was a mixed bag. Projects were not well executed, shoddily executed, and more projects were abandoned, such that by the time we concluded phase 1 project tracking, the percentage of projects that were completed were less than 50%. So what we did was that those who were concerned, those who were involved in all the shenanigans that we saw, they were invited to come and state what really happened, and some of them, if they were maybe staff of MDAs executing the project, they were sanctioned. Some of them are so we took some of them to court, and those contractors that either refuse or neglect to do those projects, we forced them back to project site to go and redo the project. Some of them, when we saw that, okay, this, even if they go back to site, there won't be anything they will be able to do. So we recover funds from them to government cover. So by and by, then the second phase, we also move out because of the successes we attained from the first phase. People were calling and hailing ICPC for a job well done, and our chairman now said, okay, let us also include executive projects in whatever we are tracking, because the fund appropriated or released for executive projects is way higher than what was appropriated for constituency projects. It's only 100 billion that is usually appropriated yearly for constituency projects.
When you say executive projects, some people may not understand what you mean by that.
These are projects that government itself, agencies, MDAs, ordinarily execute themselves. Roads, facilities, schools, hospitals, and whatever. These are projects for government, for MDAs. So the executive projects are projects that legislators, our National Assembly members, those are the constituency projects, are those projects that legislators embedded in a project, in budget. These are special projects meant for legislators.
Okay, so when is the next constituency project tracking beginning?
Yeah.
And you mentioned success. Were there weaknesses or challenges you encountered?
Definitely.
First and second phase.
Definitely.
So just put this together.
We rolled out the 6th phase of the constituency project in 25 states of the Federation. We pick out 1,935 projects valued at 500 billion across these 25 states. So our officers are on the field now tracking projects from one corner of the country to the other, and it will take them almost maybe 2 or 3 weeks before they will return to Abuja for analysis of the projects they have tracked. But let me also say something. ICPC alone does not do this, because we believe that we need collaborations from professionals, from other relevant government agencies. It was in this wise that ICPC now set up a project steering committee involving some professional bodies, Nigerian Institute of Council Surveyors, Budget Office of the Federation, Accountant General Office of the Federation, Auditor General Office, BPP, including budgets and media houses, and most especially CSOs, because we feel that CSOs, most of them are in the local areas. They will be able to see what is happening in their local environment and report to us. So when we are selecting projects, we don't select alone. We bring all these professionals all the relevant agencies together. We obtain budgets and we ask them, let us speak together, such that no legislators, nobody will say, okay, ICPC or somebody say we're chanting them. We don't select project on our, we allow this steering committee to select the project. And when the projects are selected, then we move on rather to the field and we track projects. Yeah. With regard to successes, like I said, when we started, only 50% of, or less than 50% of projects were executed very well. But now I can tell you, as at the last count, phase 5, we had 93% of projects were well done.
Okay.
93% of the project we track were executed well. So we can say, yeah, we are moving on. Things are getting better.
Okay, so I was coming from the aspect of the bottlenecks, challenges
Okay,
you
yeah.
encountered when you were, tracking and monitoring this project.
Okay, let me start by saying definitely there will be challenges. The first challenges we had was that maybe you can say, okay, budgetary constraints. We would have loved to track all projects within, maybe all the states, 36 states of the federation at the same time. But because of budgetary constraints, we had to segment. You do it in phases. Sometimes 12 states, sometimes 13 states. Now we are doing 25 states. If there are no budget constraints, definitely we would have been able to do that alone. However, with regard to other challenges, agencies of government, sometimes because of maybe what their officers are done, they don't usually like to release documents, or maybe contract person that will go along with us to go and do the tracking exercise. This is a constraint, but we've always find a way around it. It doesn't usually maybe bog us down. When they say there is nobody to accompany us, we say no. In the project you are doing, there's a fund for monitoring, so you should use that fund to send a contact person to take us to where those projects were domiciled, and usually they comply because they know that if they don't comply, if they refuse, sanctions will follow.
What kind of sanctions?
Different, depending on whatever depending on the infraction that we see. If perchance somebody who was supposed to monitor a project did not monitor the project very well, or monitor the project and came back home and write a very beautiful report on a project that was not well done has been well done. So when we see it, first of all we request the agency to do administrative sanction, either to interdict that person or to suspend. Then the next thing is to take the person to court.
Okay. Before we get to the citizens, let's quickly get to Garba. You have done a lot of project tracking. While we were speaking with Abdul Samil, she did mention that projects were cited that the beneficiaries did not need. That means there was no need assessment. From what you have tracked so far, what can you say is the level of need assessment done in some of these communities or constituencies?
Well, thank you so much for this. I would say it's so poor that in Nigeria the people in charge of this project facilitating are not going to this community for need assessment. They don't care, because most time this zonal intervention project comes through the elected representative, and these people normally do what they want from their own offices to do. Let me just cite an example in a community here, in FCT here, where road was being constructed, where these people don't actually need the road, and when we visit the community for engagement to hear from their own this thing, they keep on saying that this is not what we need. They need water, they need health care, and you give them road, they won't value it. It won't be of value to them. So we keep on engaging these people to make sure that they get a needs and present it to their leaders, for their leaders to make sure that they act upon it. In most aspects, when we track this project, There are a lot of abandoned projects too in Abuja here and other states that when we track, I hear where our colleague from the ICPC said that an abandoned project is littered everywhere across the country. Of course, because there are no proper information given from the citizen to the people that who act on it. And in regards to the need assessment, what I want to say is leadership should always go to the community to ask what they want, or they should have somebody in the community that will take their needs to their representative for them to act on it.
Okay, thank you so much. Now let's hear from ICPC. What exactly is need assessment and how can citizens get involved in this?
Okay, thank you so much. When you talk with regard to needs assessment, the indication is that the people who need this project must be involved in the initiation of that project and in the implementation. If you are bringing a project to a community and the community does not need such project, what is the value? That means that you have wasted government money. The first phase and the second phase, we discovered this was the issue, this was the problem. So the ICPC now engaged National Orientation Agency to sensitize people at the community. These projects are your projects. The money being used are your money, not legislators' money. You should be involved. Go to your legislators. Tell them what you need. It is when you tell them what you need that definitely they will come and give you what you have requested for. If you need a maternity center and somebody is bringing a borehole, it doesn't show reason. So gradually what we are seeing now, phase 3 and phase 4, it is getting better because we are consistent. We are insistent on them getting the people at the local level involved. Aside from that, again, we also involve CSO in the local areas. When we are tracking, we pick 2 or 3 CSO to join us in various states, in various communities, to go and visit those projects such that when we leave, maybe you come back to Abuja, they will be there giving us information, giving us feedback with regard to whether those projects are being well maintained, whether the contractors that we have compelled to come back to site have really come back, or he has done the job as expected. So CSOs will need to also work with the citizens at the local level to engage them in letting them know their rights, in letting them know, letting them participate rather in governance. Because if they don't participate in asking questions, then there will be no accountability.
Okay, a quick one. There are instances where we have seen signposts, zonal intervention project, but underneath it you will see donated by Senator XYZ. Are constituency projects donated by the senators?
This was one of the problems we encountered when we started. Our people at the grassroots do not know that those constituency projects are being funded by government.
Taxpayers' money.
Yeah, they feel that the legislators at his own whims just help them. That was why they do not go back and demand accountability. It was when we now say, no, this project you are seeing that somebody donated. It is not donated, it's government money. We can say, okay, now we now engage the legislators themselves again. No, don't say you donated this project. You can say nominated. That is allowed. And the executive agency, rather, the MDAs executing such project, we also have discussion with them. When a project is domiciled in your MDAs and you are the one executing it, what you should put there, or what you allow the legislator to put it, okay, nominated by this, or you should put FGN or the name of your MDA, BCDA, NOA, put your name, brand it. Don't allow somebody who does not provide the fund to say the project belongs to him. It belongs to everybody. It belongs to government. It is government funded project.
Thank you so much. You have heard, it is government funded projects and they are not donations from your legislator. Esther, it's time for us to get the other person listening at the end of the dial to join the conversation.
Please follow us on our social media platforms as official Primorg. Primorg is spelled Primorg. Remember that we are streaming live on Facebook at official Primorg.
And remember that the program is interactive. The WhatsApp phone line to send your message to is 0902-265-6167. This number is for messages only. What would be your contribution to the conversation? Are you aware that the constituency projects? Are you aware of the constituency projects nominated in your constituency? And what is your assessment of the execution of the constituency projects in your community? We would like you to call in and let's have your perspective on the issues raised.
What other interventions do you think ICPC needs, and what can civil society organizations do in this respect? Let's come to Garba.
Well, I think ICPC are doing a very great job in terms of product tracking of the zonal intervention. ICPC have already put on the very beautiful modality in collaborations and working with CSOs and the community champion people at the grassroots. So what I want the ICPCs to do more, or the CSO to do, is more engagement to the people. They should not just relax, or just since they just visit a community A, they should just say, since we've tracked this project, this is where we're going to. The ICPCs should keep on working on the good that they are doing to provide information to the public, for them to know that this project is actually for them, for their good, not for the good of the legislators or their lawmakers. The ICPC should work with diverse CSOs to put plans in places. More like budgets now. So what we do, if we go to a field and track this project, we see abnormality, we quickly alert the ICPC, and this is one of the work we do at the field, and giving the ICPC one of the first-hand informations to act on it, because they are the agencies that deals with this kind of corrupt acts in terms of project executions and implementation.
All right, thank you very much. Let's bring it home to Jimo. For the benefit of the general public, people listening to us now, help us understand what follows when monies and equipment are recovered by ICPC in the course of tracking constituency projects.
Yeah, money can only be recovered when there are infractions. That means that somebody somewhere had not done what they are supposed to do. When you go to project site to look at projects, maybe 100 million project, and you get there, what you find on ground is not up to maybe 20 million. You are bound to ask questions. What has happened? We take along valuers that are not government public servants to help us independently value projects. When we see that, okay, this project, the money has not been earned, then we invite the project supervisor, we invite the contractor, we invite whoever is concerned. Everybody will come and state what they have done in line of that project. Then we recover money, 100 of millions, 200 of millions. When we recover this money, it goes to government account. It is part of the money that government will use in making budget the subsequent years. So if it is money, that is what really usually happens. But with regards to items, equipment, we look at the files within the agency. Okay, this equipment, where were they supposed to be domiciled? If it's maybe hospital equipment, we look at it. Okay, we now compare the agency and the contractor to take those items back to either a school, hospital, or whatever. So what we do essentially is that we force the contractor, we force the agency to go back and execute the project wherever they are supposed to be executed. We have seen, we have gone out and we have seen projects that were supposed, empowerment projects rather, that were supposed to be distributed to hundreds of beneficiaries, and somebody somewhere just kept them in their homes. So we got there, we bonded the project, We invited every other person that were concerned in these breaches. So we asked them, go and bring the names, the list of the intended beneficiaries. We force them to do that, and we force them to distribute. So we are not just maybe keeping those items. We force them to distribute to the beneficiary, the intended beneficiaries, and everybody will feel happy. You see them writing appreciation letter to ICPC for what we have done for them. So I think it's better, it's good. People really are happy, and they are feeling what ICPC is doing for them with regard to good governance. Because sometimes in my member of National Assembly will put or embed projects in a community for this year. You see, the projects will be funded and they will keep. The following year, the same thing will happen. It is usually maybe when election is coming in, and it will not be branded as being donated by somebody else. We are like this government. That is usually not happening again, because we are everywhere. Our eyes and ears are everywhere. We employ CSOs to help us in that regard, to look at whatever is happening in the communities, and they are giving us information that we use, like a budget. Almost every time when they see something in Katsina, they tell us there is something here in Adamawa, in Lagos, and whatever, and quickly we move on and we confiscate those items, then we redistribute to the intended beneficiaries. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
For you listening, are there projects that are abandoned within your locality? Are there abnormalities there? Is there something you want the ICPC to do? Are there issues bothering you with respect to constituency projects that you would like the Commission to know about? The numbers to call are 090 30,000 899, 080 998 770, and 0809 40,000 72. We have a representative from the Commission who would answer all your questions and concerns that you have. Kindly dial to join the conversation.
Alright, so Garba, Juma said that some projects that are funded sometimes are kept until maybe towards elections. That's when you see execution starts, taking place. I would like to know, how much is politics affecting the initiative of the constituency project?
Well, the politics is actually affecting it. You see, most times these projects, especially the lawmaker, legislative, and people represented at the National Assembly, they put this project in an empowerment. And empowerment project is somehow difficult to track. Somebody will just come and say, okay, 200 million was budgeted for training of youths in terms of filmmaking, in terms of actor and something like that, but they will come in time during the time of executions or implementation. They will just select like few people and train, and they will say they train like 150 people on this. They will just cut a figure and use it to campaign for their people for the next elections, because this project, the funds may have actually been disbursed for them to carry out this project maybe earlier of the year, but they will keep the funds till close time to the elections. Then they will begin to use this to campaign for their people, not knowing that this fund is actually for the people, not for the legislator. So what we want to keep on telling the people is that, look, this is not a gesture from your leaders. This is your right. This project is actually yours. And like again, we have in FCT here, we have an abandoned project littered everywhere in Abuja here. We have there's a hospital, a multi-million hospital being abandoned in Utakode. We have one in Shere, we have one in Gogolada, we have one in Kwalera Council, we have one in Kujeria Council. This general hospital have been abandoned for over 10 years. I think we were going to alert the ICPC to take further action on that. Then we have a quick one that is happening in Kujeria Council. 84 million naira was paid to some contractor to construct a road in around Godoji sites. This funds has been released to a contractor, but this project is being abandoned. So what we are doing is just to quickly alert the ICPC to make sure they act, and the citizen to act on it, ask questions and get us information so that we can be able to follow the right channel. In regards to this constituency project, I think the ICPC need to put more efforts for what they are doing, to see that empowerment projects are being published in terms of implementation, because you cannot just say you train 200 people and be giving them 250 million naira with an iPhone or iPad for what you cannot just see the figure of it. It doesn't make any sense to the public. So we that is in regards to that, it's so poor. The politics is affecting the empowerment project in Nigerians in all the systems. So we want the ICPC and us to make sure that we work towards that.
Okay.
So let me quickly say something with regard to empowerment project. When we started, we discovered that almost 85% of projects are empowerment projects.
Yes.
And like you rightly said, they were very, very difficult to track. However, because we are officials, we are investigators, we eventually devised means of tracking empowerment projects. We have gotten them a way around it that if you do a empowerment project, you feel that you can steal government money, we go there, and the hotel you use, where you bought the project, where you bought the item, everything, we get in touch and we get it done. As a rider now, we have informed the agencies that going further, when you want to do an empowerment project, ICPC must be involved. That is what is on ground now. You don't just go and do empowerment project and say, okay, you have distributed money or whatever. No, write to us, let us see. We'll now send our representative either in Kano, Katsina, or Oyo, or whatever, to be there to look at the BOQ, to compare the BOQ and what you are giving people. If it's what's in the bill of quantity is maybe 20,000, you have to give the beneficiary that 20,000. You can't reduce it. So that is what that's where we are now. That's what we are doing now.
Okay, you can dial 0809 40,000. Let's take this call. Hello.
My name is Apa. I'm calling from Port.
Let's hear you, Akpan.
Yes, I want to appreciate the officer in the house about the good work they are doing in tracking projects and so on. But I have my own complaint.
Okay, if you can do that in 1 minute.
Yes, there was this project that involves NEPA equipment sometime in 2012, which was auctioned by custom. And when the people revolted or started complaining about it, which even drew the attention of the National Assembly, custom came out and they requested that the buyer to return the materials, the NEPA equipment. Sometime in 2012.
Where exactly is that?
Yes, I'm in Port Harcourt
Okay.
right now. Yes. So those equipment were returned by the people who bought it, with custom promising to compensate them, which they didn't do, and we lodged a complaint with ICPC. Since 2012 to today, ICPC is still telling us that they are still investigating. They have not come up with any complete report on that our petition.
All right, thank you.
So it's a very grave, a very serious matter that they should have given that attention it deserves. How can you tell me that people brought their documents, even custom brought out their own document where they received this equipment back from the people that bought it? And you say you are still investigating since 2016 to date.
All right. Could you just keep listening? I would appreciate if you could send us details of that petition, and we will forward same to the commission. If you can kindly send it to 09022656167. 09022656167. Thank you for that. As we begin to wrap up, what more can the citizens do? Because you talked about the steering committee, and I did not hear a Nigerian citizen being involved in that. I'm tempted to take another call. Please. Hello. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Please, I'm Mr. Joel calling from Abuja, Macro government.
From Abuja?
Please, if I heard you correctly, you said you have a ICPC representative with you there.
Yes.
That's very good. This is like it used to get me amazed these days. It's as if you guys don't know that almost all the sectors in this country. No one is corrupt free. But the thing is, the challenging aspect of it is that, like this RTPC that is with you there, they will be looking for evidence. I think if they really mean to do the right thing, there are ways to go about things if you really want to fight corruption. So in order to cut this short, please, if they really want to do things, people are suffering. Almost all these appointment holders, they are exploiting people that are under them. Please let them go. And they want to start the investigation. Let them not start from the top. Let them start from the bottom. That's where they can get the real truth. Then before they can go and make conclusion at the top here. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. I wonder if it's possible for you to do an investigation without evidence. But that would be another topic for another day. As we wrap
investigation needs evidence, definitely.
Of course.
Definitely. You can't just go out and be moving around without having evidence to back up the investigation you are doing.
Okay, because of our time, in 1 minute, what would be your advice to both the legislators and the citizens?
My advice to the legislators is that they should do needs assessment before they embed projects, before they put projects in any community. Then the citizens themselves, they should look out for projects that have been executed by their representatives and follow the money. We say follow the money because they should be able to ask questions. They should be able to demand accountability from the leaders, from their representatives.
Thank you so much. Your last take, Garba Abdullahi.
So my last take to the people of Nigeria is to use platforms like this budget to get more information, to give more information on that. More so, we have a platform, God Spends, that all the funds being released for projects across the country is being published there. They should just identify any project that they want. They should write as many letters as possible for their needs in their community and call on budgets in any part of the country. Budget can help them to submit this letter to their representative at of no cost for them.
All right. Thank you for that.
The first person that spoke from Lagos, I think we can engage him with regard to what he was saying, that maybe some projects were not well done or whatever. We can give them, we can give a exchange number so that he can send us those information. We'll process them.
All right, thank you for that, Esther. We really need to round up.
Please visit our news website, primognews.org. That is primognews.org. For all the details of our reports and interviews, visit our website, www.primog.org, to get all the information about Primog.
And you can watch our videos on Primog TV, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to get reminders when we have a new post. We sincerely appreciate our guests, Deputy Commissioner, Constituency and Executive Project Tracking at the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Jimo Suleiman, and also the FCT State Officer at Budget, Garba Abdullahi, as well as the investigative journalist Abdul Samiu Mansouriya, who joined us via the phone from Lagos State. Thank you all for being a part of this program.
Thank you. You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Public Conscience has the support of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, committed to building a more just, verdant and peaceful world. Get more information about the foundation on its website, macfound.org.
Join us again here next week for another episode of Public Conscience. And remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, which is the same as X, and Instagram at Official Primog. I am Esther Bassett.
Remember that birth registration and birth certificates are free if your child is under 18. Help stop the corruption in birth registration and do not pay for birth certificates. Also remember that you can give us information or hint about corrupt acts through our phone at 0902 265 6167 or info@primog.org. I am Adalbi Obiabumo. Stay safe.